Welcome back. Got some responses that all of you on TikTok seem to want me to make daily videos. So we're gonna start making the videos. I'm not gonna be able to do daily. We can do a couple of times a week. Nonetheless, one of the biggest things I'm asked on a daily basis during my live streams over on TikTok, what is evidence? That's a decent, fair question. I don't hate that question, but it's also like, if I tell you I have something and you're like, what's the evidence? I have it, so I'm going to provide it to you. I don't need to ask you what evidence would suffice for you to believe that I have an Xbox controller. What evidence would suffice for you to believe that I have a mug? I don't need to ask you these questions. I could just provide the evidence. So if you have evidence for your God, for your supernatural claim, etc., provide it. Now, there are types of evidences. You got anecdotal, historical, logical, and empirical. Now, here's the thing with anecdotal stories, hearsay. How do you test it? How do you scrutinize it? How do you know that it's true? How do you know it's trustworthy? How do you know it's credible? You don't. It's all hearsay and word of mouth and hoping and faiths and feelings and could be, maybe, possibly. That's not credible. Testimony, same thing. Exact same thing. Let's go at historical. Well, there still needs to be empirical data backing said things. We know about certain people like Aristotle because of contemporary witnesses. We know about people like Muhammad, again, because of all these witnesses. We know about people like Socrates because of a contemporary witness. You got Alexander the Great. You got witnesses. You have coins. You have archaeological evidence like statues and whatnot. You still require some empirical data, or at least bare minimum contemporary witnesses. That doesn't exist for Jesus. Well, what about Josephus? It's not contemporary, first of all. And second of all, he didn't witness Jesus. He was saying things that people were witnessing. So that's not evidence. That's hearsay. That's the equivalent of your great grandfather saying that he heard a story about a mud crab that was flying through the skies with wings. Cool story, bro. Why the hell would I believe that? Yeah, so again, that historical data, it can work, but it's got to be able to be scrutinized. There's got to be something demonstrable to look at, to test, to observe. Then you got logical. Now, of course, I'm no master, I'm no professional, I don't have a degree. But I can, and you can, study basics of these things. You can study the basics of science, you can study the basics of logic, you can study the basics of philosophies, and you can gain understanding through time by testing, observing, and studying. So, logic. You have a syllogism, for instance: Socrates is a man, all men are mortal, therefore Socrates is mortal. It's sound. It's valid because it's formed correctly, and it's sound because the premises are true and the conclusion follows suit. There's no fallacies there. If I say, I have a cat, all cats are black, therefore my cat is black, it's valid, but it's not sound because the premises aren't proven to be true. We're missing data. We're missing demonstrable empirical data. My cat, I own a cat, premise one, has nothing to do with color. So you have zero data to know if I have a cat that is a specific color. Premise two, all cats are black. That's just not true. That's fallacious. So you need data there needs to be data. Support it, back it. That's a claim. It needs data to back the claim that all cats are black. What empirical data do we have? Have we taken a photo of every single cat on planet Earth and 100% of them are black? No. It's safe to assume that that's fallacious. And then to then assume premise two is true and then just throw it onto premise one? No, you need data. It's circular reasoning. You see what I'm saying? So that is valid. It's still a valid argument. So things like the fine-tuning argument, for instance, it's valid, but it's not sound. There's no such thing as a sound argument for anything supernatural. Why? Because it's supernatural. It's not of the natural world. All things in our reality are in the domain of science. Supernatural things are not testable by science. They're claims. They have nothing going for them. It's all hearsay. It's all Fugazi, right? Fugazi, you know what I'm saying? If you get that reference, comment below that you got that reference. So it gets really difficult. And then we get to the empirical data. That shit's important. Because now it's, I have a black cat. Here is my black cat. Here's photos of other black cats. All the cats are black. Your cat is black. Therefore, your cat is black. Like, The empirical brings it together. The demonstrable, observable, testable, scrutinizable, falsifiable evidence is what allows you to know something to be true. Then the people, well, how do you know that you're alive? It's demonstrable. Your senses are observing me right now. You can hear me. You can test if you can hear me by getting your hearing checked. You can ask me questions, and I can respond to those questions. You can look at my social security number to see if I truly do or do not exist. You can do a background check to see if I do or do not exist. You can do all these things and test it to see if I do or do not exist. So that bullshit argument of, you don't even know that you're alive. Yes, I do. I can touch things. I can feel things. I can smell things. I can taste things. I can hear things. These are evidences to provide the conclusion that I have senses and that my senses are telling me things and that I am consciously being able to take input of these senses of reality. I exist. You exist. That's not a question. Philosophical concepts are not truths. To question, how do we know that we exist? Sure, that's a fair argument. You can bring that up. You can say, how do I know that my hearing is trustworthy? You're right, but you can test it. You can record things. You can listen to it back. You can look at the wavelengths, etc., etc. That's a falsifiable thing that is demonstrably testable to know if it's true or not. Well, how do you know that you don't live in a simulation? Provide me evidence that there's a simulation. Well, how do you know you don't? Provide me evidence that there is one. Yeah, no shit. You have no evidence for it. Why would I accept that? There's no evidence for Bigfoot, unicorns, or Santa Claus, so why would I accept belief in them? See how this is going? If I make a claim that I can fly, it is not your job to debunk that I cannot fly. It is my job to prove to you with evidence that I can fly. And I can bring you testimonies. I do it all the time in my live chat. I say, hey guys, I flew yesterday. Who witnessed it? And I'll get 20 people saying I witnessed it. Those are 20 testimonies, 20 people with stories, and they can line up to be super similar. That's not proof that I can fly. Not even close. So why would I accept that over a 2,000-year-old book? Think about that for a second. Short video today. Figured I would just go ahead and knock one out since you guys said that you wanted to see some videos. So here we are, making videos again. Comment below to let me know that I should continue making these videos. Talking to you, Beige. Hit the like button and share the video around as well. I got nothing else for you guys. Hope you're doing amazing. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll talk to you in the next video.